Hey, mighty men of God, Joe Martin here with Real Men Connect, where we help good men become great men God's way by providing real answers to real problems in the real world. Welcome to the Real Men Ride Along. I'm on my way home. It is late in the afternoon. I just left my wife, her fitness studio after working out, so I am extremely exhausted. But I wanted to shoot this video on my way home because I wanted to challenge you this week on whether or not you're being foolish or you're being faithful. Are you being foolish or are you being faithful? Now, I say that because I'm including myself in that as well. But I want to challenge you because there's a fine line between being faithful and being foolish. Now, I get the privilege a lot of times of being interviewed on a lot of radio shows, some television shows, because I deal with men's ministry and I work with men all over the country, that they want to know, usually because they're trying to figure out what's wrong with us as men, especially if I'm on a talk show with a female. They want to know, Joe, what's wrong with men? How come men just don't get it? And I'm not one of those guys who like to bash men, even though I've had my run-ins with men and been heard by a lot of men. But God has called me to men's ministry to help men heal so they can get better, so they can help younger men grow. And so, but typically when I get that question, I tell them because a lot of times we get sucked in and we get taken over by what I call the foolish five. The foolish five. These are 5 traps that men find themselves getting caught in that we can easily become prey to. And those 5 things can actually destroy, not only destroy our faith, but also damage our families. It can damage our finances, any of you can come up with. And it can potentially ruin our future. And it's not really a joking matter, it's actually really serious. And I'm going to share those 5 things with you very quickly. But at the same time, they're not in any particular order, except probably the first one, which God despises, and I think you already know what that one is. But I just wanted to make you aware of them, and hopefully we can avoid falling into the traps of these 5 foolish things. So how do you avoid the foolish 5? Here's the first one. First one is pride. Pride. And guys, you know that as men, that's one of our biggest problems is our ego. I've heard people say that ego, EGO, stands for edging God out, edging your greatness out. But I like what a friend told me about what he says pride stands for, P-R-I-D-E. He says pride stands for, please remember that I destroy everything. Oh, I love that. Please remember that I destroy everything. And when we say I, we're talking about Satan. God hates pride. He says that God says he opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble. We also know in the book of Proverbs that pride comes before a fall and man's destruction. So we got to avoid that fight. Now, how do you know when you're sucked into pride? Because you start using phrases like, I know that already. I don't need help. I got this. And anything that puts you at the center and that you don't want and you refuse and you stiff arm people trying to help you or give you wisdom and knowledge, that's when you know that you're walking in pride. So that's the first one. Here's the second one that we get stuck with. Now we have that I don't need, that's pride. Check this one out. I won't finish. I quit. That's what commitment. That one of the foolish 5 is our failure to commit to something and following it through to the end. You won't finish. I won't finish. And that means we start something but we don't finish it. When we get frustrated, when it doesn't meet our expectations, or things get difficult and they get hard, we tend to throw in the towel and we're ready to quit. And we also know that Galatians 6:9 says, please do not grow weary in doing good, because in due season you will reap the harvest if you don't give up. And so guys, we can't afford to give up, so we have to commit to the end. And people are giving up on their marriages, giving up on their children, giving up on their businesses before God brings to pass that thing that he promised them. So you got the pride, I don't need. Then you got the commit level, I won't finish. Then we got the third one, I don't know. I don't know. Now that speaks to ignorance. That's one of the foolish 5 is ignorance. Now understand, there's nothing wrong with ignorance. Guys, we all are not an expert. We're not an expert on everything. There's always stuff that we don't know. But there's a difference between being ignorant and not knowing, and then being dumb, or what I call stuck on stupid, of knowing and not going. Or at least not knowing and not looking for the answers. To me, that's one of the foolish 5, that we get stuck on ignorance or stuck on stupid. Now, the Bible also tells us that God says that if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask. Let him ask the Father who is in heaven, and he will give it to him generously. So not only do we have to, not only is it okay not to know, but we have a Father we can go to and ask for answers, and he will give it to us generously. He will give us wisdom generously. So you have, I don't need. I won't finish. I don't know. And what about this foolish 5? Check this one out. And this one speaks to laziness when he says, I won't do. I won't do. Because I don't feel like it. It doesn't feel good to me. This is not what I expected. And so when we start walking in our feelings, we get lazy, and we know what God says about slothful people, that he does not like the slothful servant. Remember the parable with the man with the talents? We had the one guy with the one talent, and he didn't invest those talents, and he buried his talents. And the master told him, he says, get away from me, you slothful servant, you. And he took what he had and gave it to people who had more. So obviously God has strong feelings toward those who are lazy and will not work, will not do what they're called to do because they don't feel like it, because it's too hard or whatever. You can fill in the blank. So we got those four, and now we have the last one, which is my personal pet peeve that I don't like. I don't like the other ones either, but this one just gets in my craw. And this one is apathy. Apathy. And what that speaks to is with pride saying, I don't need. And then we have, I won't finish. That's the commit. What else did we mention? We mentioned, I won't follow through. I won't commit. What was the other? I just forgot the other one. Oh, about laziness. I won't do. And and ignorance. I don't know. Then we have apathy, which is I don't care. Now, why did that one bother me more than anything else? Because to me, this is what tripped up Adam in the garden. Adam was passive. He didn't care enough to look after Eve, to help Eve out, to get Eve out of a jam. And when I hear men who just throw in the towel when they say they don't care, it just rubs me the wrong way, because guys, think about it. I don't care enough to obey God. I don't care enough to get in his word. I don't care enough to spend time with God. I don't care enough to get the counseling that I need to work on my marriage. I don't care enough to honor my wife and show her love. I don't care enough about spending time with my children. I don't care enough about putting extra time on this job until the job gets done. To me, it just permeates everything else that we struggle with. So guys, there are the foolish five. That we don't know, we don't care, that's apathy, that we won't do, laziness, I don't need, the pride, and I won't finish, that commit. Guys, don't fall prey to the foolish five, because it will make you look foolish, not only destroy your faith, but hurt your family and your relationships, and as well as destroy your future. Guys, I hope that this blessed you. If it has, please share with any man that you're mentoring or you're discipling. We've shared with another brother who may be struggling with any one of those areas, and he just doesn't know it and needs to be made aware of it. Guys, remember, we are males by birth, but we are men by choice. So choose to be the man God called and created you to be, because a male is a terrible thing to waste. Until next time, be strong, stay blessed, and as always, stay in God's grip.